may be at church. You may be at work. You may be asleep. God grant that you will be ready when he makes his personal appearance. My God, what if his appearance occurs on a Sunday morning? My prophetic word to you this morning is get ready! Get ready!
Everyone, welcome back to the channel. Share, subscribe, like this video. Make sure you put your prayer request in the bottom. A lot of things happened early this morning. It seems to still be going on. Now, we know there was an incident with the French Navy and a Russian oil tanker. Now, if the information that's coming out is correct, and this is not a red flag, which I do believe it is, very possible, coincides with what happened in Ukraine this morning. There's a major power outage in Kiev. Remember, we was talking about last night, all the activity, all the things we were seeing. Feels like, oh, this is normal. This is normal. 600 flights in 5 days into the Middle East and Europe is not normal. That is not done every day. I've been watching this for years. It's never been done, ever. So don't be fooled. These people are always going to tell you nothing's happening. They will until the very end when it all goes down. They're always going to say that. Listen, people, we monitor this stuff 24 hours a day. Just like the earthquakes and everything else, we know what we're talking about. When you see this kind of movement, and everybody across the board knows this, something does not add up. And then this happens the next day. This is not coincidence. They're getting ready for war. When they start mobilizing the hospitals they have in Europe, starting to happen here in the U.S., they've got this thing, something's happening. They didn't recall those 800 generals to tell them, if you wear a dress, you're not going to be in the army. They didn't do that. You don't do that for that. They could have easily sent an email and done that. They know something's here. And we see the evidence every minute now. Since the 23rd and 24th, our militaries around the world have been off on another planet the way the movements have been. So from that day, from when they're meeting about peace and security, they're starting to move equipment very quickly at that time. Preparing for this, I do believe. That's why they're saying that the Chernobyl plant was hit. So they're saying that Russia's deliberately trying to hit the Chernobyl. That's where a lot of them get their power at, is Chernobyl. So they're saying that, okay, yeah, see, they're trying to bring down a nuclear power plant, which is basically will pull NATO into this, because this is what Lindsey Graham and them talked about a year ago. If they hit a nuclear power plant and that radiation goes into NATO, it's an act of war. I think this is what they're trying to push. Now, this thing with the French Army, the French Army chief remarked last night, so we couldn't figure out why this came out first. So this is the French Army chief. He says, okay, the French Army has issued a public statement indicating the need of readiness of high-intensity warfare as early as tonight. So why is he talking about tonight? Then they knew what they was going to do. So this comes out first. This is how they do. That's why I said don't trust governments. They lie. The statement is part of an effort to prepare the French public for a potential direct military confrontation with the Russian Federation. So then we're still reading this. And we're like, okay, what is going on? The chief of the French army has made a public statement telling the population of France they must be ready for a military conflict as early as tonight. That's today. There has not been any context surrounding the public statement. Remember, this is happening first. Then after that, the chief of staff of the French army, Pierre, has stated that the forces must be ready as early tonight for intensive warfare, warning a potential direct military confrontation in the near future with Russia over the defense of NATO ally in the Eastern Europe. So that comes out. Everybody's scrambling, trying to make sense of it. What the heck's going on? Well, we figured out what happened after that. Do I have it here? Got 1,000 things going on. The news is like off the charts. I guess I don't have it there. Let me go up here. All right, so just keep our place here. See here. So that comes out first, and then there's this. Breaking, at least 2 Russian crew members from the seized Russian oil tanker. So they knew they was going to seize this oil tanker. This is part of Russia's shadow fleet. Russia's already made it very clear. You touch their shadow fleet, their oil tankers, you're dealing with a nuclear war. They knew that. They knew what they was going to do before they did it. That's why they sent that out first. These people are just unbelievable. So our active suspects are flying military-grade drones over Denmark, Germany, and Sweden. So they're saying that right now they've actually seized these Russian pilots, or the ones that are with this ship. They're saying the drones that's been coming over Sweden, Denmark, is coming from this ship. Now, we don't know because we're not there, but they're saying they have figured out that this is where they're coming from. So the French army comes out, says what they're going to say. They seize this ship. We still haven't had any word from the Kremlin yet about what they're saying. I can already tell you it's not going to be pretty when it comes out. But from what we're understanding, if this is provocations of World War III, that they found these drones that's been attacking the Sweden, Denmark airports. So this is interesting. Not on top of that, it looks like we're about to attack the ground of Venezuela inside their own country to bring down Maduro, to get him out of there, which is not ever a bad idea. The guy's plumb evil. But these are huge allies of Russia and China. None of this is coincidence, people. None of it. They're making their move, and people don't see it, but it's there. All right, let's see. Here it is. The French military seized Russian oil tanks suspected of launching drones. So once again, we are still waiting to see if there's drones on there. Yemen Houthis announced they will target U.S. oil ships. So here's this on top of this on top of this. It's just nonstop. All right, President Trump says U.S. was threatened by Russia recently and has sent a nuclear submarine there, which he'd already talked about that before. Let's see. More stuff about the shutdown. As you know, the government is shut down on top of all this other stuff that's happening. All right, Trump's proposal would have, looks like Trump will be the board at the head of the board of peace. Can't make that up either, over Gaza. Now, it looks like right now, everybody was saying that Gaza, the Hamas, had turned that deal down. That's not true. And I was talking to Shelly, John, and Matt earlier this morning. I said, I wonder if they're going to try to postpone it. And then this comes out. Now, they're saying they will most likely reject Trump's peaceful plan. But let's see, from what I'm understanding now, they're going to try to postpone it. That's what's coming out right now as we speak. Let me see if I can find that. That's interesting because I kind of figured that's what they was going to do. They're going to try to buy themselves some time on this. Let's see. Can't remember where I saw that at. So much news coming in, it's hard to keep an eye on all of it. Let's see, I think it might have been one Watchwoman Natalie. Let's see. By the way, Afghanistan has no power either. It's all gone. I have a stinking suspicion that our internet is not going to be up much longer. Just got to feel it. I know I've been saying that, but everybody I talk to, their internet's acting so stupid. Mine, it takes almost an hour to upload a video now. It has been so bad, and it's getting worse by the day. All right, there's currently a UAV with a vector towards Poland, so they scrambled F-16s. That happened this morning. I think they scrambled like 5 F-16s. Now, the hunt for Red October, remember I told you last night that there's a missing sub they can't find, has officially kicked off. NATO, along with the U.S. Navy, started this morning for the search of the Russian Navy submarine. Won't even pretend to try to say the name. West off of Portugal. So here we go with this again, the hunt for Red October, which was a big movie in the 80s. They can't find this sub. It disappeared, and they don't know where it's at, but they've got every Navy out looking for it to try to find it. They'll probably never find it, not in the ocean. Let's see. Massive turn of the U.S. Navy leaving Norfolk Naval Station, Virginia, all on September 30th, just after U.S. President Trump gave orders for the Department of War to prepare for war. And that's what they said during that meeting. They bring all the 800 generals here, tell them to prepare for war. And they knew France was going to do that to that oil tank. They knew. They knew yesterday. This was all pre-planned, every bit of it. Every bit of it. They're ready for it. They're wanting it. Let's see. I'm not finding it now. It's buried in here somewhere. But now they're saying that Hamas is trying to slow down the process. That's from what I'm understanding. Let's see. Also, by the way, I think there was like 100,000 people quit the government yesterday. They all resigned. That happened yesterday, on top of everything else. Now, Israel Defense Forces have clearly encircled Gaza City. So this is Katz saying he wants the last opportunity to leave. Now, listen to this. Now, you're talking about a threat, boy. Right here it is. The Israel forces intensify their military campaign in Gaza City, displacing tens of thousands of Palestinians southward. A glimmer of diplomatic hope emerges from Washington. Now, Trump unveiled a 20-point plan for Gaza on Tuesday. The developments come amid reports of 66,000 Palestinians' deaths since the conflict. In a stark escalation, the Israel military announced the closure of Al-Rashid Street, the last remaining route connecting southern Gaza to north. Now this Katz had come out and said they put out a thing early this morning. For any Palestinian living in Gaza City, you got to leave now or you will be destroyed along with Hamas. They're going to level it. So they said, if you stay, you're a terrorist. If you leave, you'll be spared. But they said they will destroy everything in their path. This came out this morning, including civilians. And they put that in there, civilians also. Israel military spokesperson outlined the restrictions in the statement, emphasizing limited humanitarian considerations. Al-Rashid Street will be closed to traffic from the southern sector area at 12 o'clock. Let's see. Amid the chaos, U.S. President Trump positioned himself as a potential mediator, presenting a comprehensive peace plan, which they have now. And it looks like Hamas has not turned it down, but they're trying to buy themselves some time, which is very, very interesting. Trump's addressing reporters as he departed the White House issued a stark warning to Hamas. You had 3 to 4 days. That puts us around 10-4, Shelley. That's where that puts us at. Interesting. All right, let's see. So we got all that moving. Let's see. We just talked about Hamas will probably reject. I know there's something I'm missing here. Of course, here it is. So this comes out this morning also. So I want you to think. I want you to remember. Hamas is trying to delay for some odd reason, okay? So they know something. Because Trump gave them 4 days. Either they could have came out very quickly and rejected it, but they didn't. They're trying to buy themselves some time. Now, here's where it gets interesting. At 10 a.m. this morning, Iran goes on military alert. Now, remember, I told you late last night. For some odd reason, Iran knows America and Israel is going to attack them. How do they know? Stay with me. All right. Now, remember, we got 10-7 coming up. Keep that in the back of your mind. When did Israel get attacked 2 years ago? 10-7. Just keep that in the back of your mind. The Islamic Republic of Iran's army and the IRGC are on high alert, with Iran military and officials warning of an imminent. So they know something we don't know. I can also look at flight radar and know they're right about something because there's a ton of equipment. 600 flights in 5 days, that's not normal. People can say that all they want. That's never happened since I've been watching. So at 10 a.m., President Trump signed an executive order. Listen to this. Any attack on Qatar is a direct threat to the United States. He did it on Article 5 with a Middle East country. Remember, the largest U.S. air base in the Middle East is Qatar. In the last 24 hours, dozens of American fighter jets and refueling tankers have been shifted eastward towards that base. This isn't routine diplomacy. This is basically unheard of. This looks like the U.S. is setting the legal military stage for an Iran strike that would come from the Qatari soil. The order states the United States shall regard any armed attack on the territory, sovereignty, and critical infrastructure of the state of Qatar as a threat to peace and security in the United States. There's that peace and security again. It's a word that just keeps on giving, don't it? In the event of such an attack, the United States shall take all lawful and appropriate measures. So they know what's coming. They're setting it up, including diplomatic, economic, and if necessary, military to defend the interests of the United States of the state of Qatar. I'm going to read that to you again. To defend the interests of the United States and the state of Qatar. So they have now started Article 5 with them, along with Japan and South Korea in the Asian market. And we're seeing right now a lot of stuff moving into Japan. Lots of stuff. They've been moving stuff to the Middle East, Europe, and to the Middle East and to the Asian market there, also in Europe. So we know that the military complex is on the move. All right, mystery drone sightings reported over critical infrastructure in northern Germany. This is new. This is coming out now. In a development that has heightened tensions amid Europe's ongoing geopolitical strains, Germany's authorities have launched a probe into mysterious drone sightings over key infrastructure sites in the northern state. The incidents have raised fears of potential espionage, particularly as NATO members remain vigilant against Russian activities in the region. Multiple unmanned aerial vehicles were observed hovering over power plants. Then today, the power plant over there in Ukraine gets hit by drones. You see how they're connecting this? They're connecting it. Now remember what I was telling you about with what was happening in the Middle East. We're close to 10-7, okay? Iran knows something we don't know. They know they're about to get attacked. I'm thinking Iran and Hamas are going to attack Israel before that happens. That's how they know they're going to get attacked. They're going to do it beforehand. So keep your eyes on that. It's right here. Iran wouldn't be saying this stuff unless they know there's no reason for them to attack them. So they must be going to do something first. So we could be looking at another 10-7. And it really looks like that's what's about to happen, or they wouldn't be saying what they're saying. Regional Interior Ministry has addressed the Parliament's committee on Wednesday, confirming unusual activity over Germany. They're seeing these over Sweden, Denmark, the list goes on and on. They're building to something, okay? They're building to a 9/11 event. That's what they're building to. They almost got that today when Kiev's power that runs from Chernobyl went out. So they sent everybody there, and now Zelensky, right now as we are sitting here, is telling everybody, see, he's trying to take out a nuclear power plant and send radiation all over Europe. This is what he's saying. He's saying it right now. They just seized an oil tanker. They seized their whole staff. And they're saying, well, we know there's drones on there, and that's why we pulled it over. All this stuff is leading to the same outcome, people. There's a red flag event in here. I'm telling you right now, when this thing does go hot, it's going to go hot quick. That's why keep your eyes on Jesus. Don't take your eyes off at this point. Most of the world is just ignorant to this stuff. They don't even know it's even happening. And they wouldn't believe you if you told them, because they don't care. They're in the world. They don't care about this stuff. They believe, honestly, that nothing's ever going to happen. They don't even know that the world is an inch away from World War III. They just don't care. You couldn't convince them anyway. Even the day that it happens, they're still going to be in denial. That's how bad this world is. They're engulfed in the world. But I'm here to tell you, it's at your front door. The activity we're seeing just since the 23rd and 24th is off the charts. They're moving so quick. Listen, 2 weeks ago, they wouldn't even seize a Russian ship. They wouldn't go near it. The France comes out early this morning and says, we're going to go to war, get everybody ready, get the hospitals ready. We're going to go to war tonight, be ready by tonight. And then they turn around and seize a ship after they said that because they knew what they was getting ready to do. And don't think the United States didn't know what they was going to do. They don't do anything without telling each other. This was all pre-planned. That's why the 800 generals come in and they send them back out. Their communications, there's something that went wrong with that. And that's why they had to bring them here to give them all their war directives and send them back where they was. Whatever, because remember, they only did half of that meeting to the public. The rest of it was closed door with 800 generals. You don't do that, people. Now, they're telling you in the news, oh, this is normal. It's never been done. Ever. Ever. It was so important to get them all together. Then the next day they seize a Russian ship. Come on, people. Put it together, what they're doing. We're going home. Get ready. The blessed hope is on the way. Trust the gospel. 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4. Jesus died on the cross for our sins, past, present, future. He died, was buried, rose again on the third day, according to the scriptures. Trust in Jesus and Jesus alone. Confirm everything through him. Do not take your eyes off of him, people. The world's crumbling, and it's crumbling fast. Our government's already shut down. Too many things adding up here. We're at the cusp of a war. It is here. They're going to get their war with Russia, and it looks like they're determined to make it happen, no matter the cost. And we know that's going to happen because God's already warned us. Now we sit back. We're already on the ark, and get ready because we're going home. Also, I want to thank everybody. A lot of people donated through PayPal this morning. We've already put that into Bibles, and we've got them sending out. We're still doing that. It's every day. We're still getting out Bibles, and that's what we're doing. We're also doing solar Bibles now, not through it here in the United States. We're sending them overseas. We've partners with Tara. She is doing that over through these other countries. So we've done that by sending solar Bibles out that way. They've got people on the other side that are getting them and distributing them in places that are hard to get, India, Africa, places like that. So we're doing that now. We started that about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But we just trying to get as many Bibles, no matter, even here in the United States, out of the country, whatever we can do. That's what we're doing, okay? So we're still moving. Don't think that we're not. We are still moving. I love each and every one of you. If I don't see or hear from you again, I'll see you at home.